Charlie wants to correct the false rumors about the hotel by going back on Voxdeck for another interview. Vaggie warns her not to, since Voxdeck works against them, but Charlie insists and leaves Vaggie to manage things with Nifty. Meanwhile, Alastor returns to the hotel wounded and finds Lucifer there. Their rivalry escalates, leading Alastor to quit as the hotel's host. At the studio, Charlie prepares for the live show. Velvet mocks her for coming back, but Charlie says she wants to speak live on air where they can't twist her words. The show begins, and Charlie tries to say that Vox lied, but the reporter pushes her into contradictions, making her regret the decision. Alastor goes to see Rosie and tells her he quit. Rosie reminds him of their deal, the one that made him the most powerful sinner in hell. Alastor doubts himself because Adam injured him, but Rosie explains that being the strongest sinner doesn't mean he can take on an archangel. She recalls their first deal. Alastor was once a charming rising star who was also a murderer. Knowing he'd end up in hell, he asked Rosie to ensure he wouldn't suffer there. She agreed, in exchange for a task he must eventually complete. Not long after, he died, mistaken for a deer by a hunter, while hiding a body. When he asks her to restore his power, she refuses and reminds him that she's the one in control. Back at the interview, Charlie claims heaven wants redemption for sinners now, but Katie challenges her, pointing out the angel's history of slaughter and the lack of proof. Charlie talks about how easily words can be twisted out of context, but ends up falling into another trap on air. Running out of defenses, she brings Nifty up to speak about the hotel. Nifty panics in front of the camera, so Charlie tells her to imagine it's a roach. Nifty then sings about the hotel being filthy, which is not the praise Charlie hoped for. She tries again in another language, but no one understands her. Meanwhile, Alastor confronts Vox. Valentino and Velvet join in, overwhelming him. Seeing the fight broadcast live, Nifty rushes to get Husk, and they jump into the battle. Husk taking on Velvet and Nifty fighting Valentino. When it becomes clear they're about to lose, Alastor calls for a deal. He'll become Vox's prisoner if Vox spares Nifty, Husk, and especially never harms Charlie. Vox agrees. Alastor returns to the studio and forces everyone out, leaving Charlie confused. Vox later questions why Alastor would give up his pride for Charlie and the hotel. Vox also asks how Alastor became so powerful in the first place, but Alastor refuses to answer, saying the deal only required his captivity, not an explanation. He mocks Vox for still needing others to fight for him. Vox tries to act unbothered, but Alastor points out that this only proves his point.